Today I'm going to be unpacking my makeup from a recent trip. I just got back from my friend's wedding, which was in Palm Springs in Southern California, and I thought it'd be fun to unpack my makeup from that trip and show you guys what I bring when I travel. Because I know for me, this is all of my favorite makeup, and it's a really minimal collection, and it just brings me a lot of joy and happiness. So I thought I'd share that today with you guys, and yeah, let's just start unpacking. So first off, something about this little carrying case I find so satisfying. It reminds me of my childhood, something about this like plastic material and the bright colors. It literally reminds me of this blow up Hello Kitty couch that I had when I was a kid, and it is such a vibe and it makes me so happy. And I feel like it's just really practical because it's easy to see at a glance what I have, and it helps keep me organized while I'm traveling. So let's get right into it. Okay, first off, I always bring some Q-tips and cotton rounds. I feel like these are always needed. And then I have my makeup brushes. Right now, I just kind of have them shoved into a Ziploc bag. I'd like to get some sort of brush pouch for them for traveling so that I don't have to use a Ziploc bag. I'll just go through these super quick. So I have this brush, which I use for bronzer. This brush, which I use for powder. This is the brush that I use for my foundation. I use this brush for pinpoint concealing. I brought this eyeshadow brush, and then I have this little eyeshadow brush that I use for eyeliner. And then I use this little spoolie brush for my eyebrows. So those are all of my brushes. And now we can get into the fun stuff, which is the makeup. First, I'm going to take out these earrings. I ended up not actually wearing these. I also always like to pack tweezers and scissors. I feel like these always come in handy. I think I'm going to go in the order that I use stuff. So I'm going to start out with this lip balm. This is the Ilia lip mask, and this one is pretty much done. I think there just might be a tiny bit left kind of in the corners, but it's getting hard to reach. So I think this one might be considered an empty. I think I used the last little bit on this trip. Yeah, I think that we can call this one done. This was good for just prepping my lips before using any other sort of lip product like lipstick. So this one I can officially add to my empties pile. So that's really satisfying, and that will be part of my first Project Pan update coming probably in May. And then next I have my concealer. So I brought the Tower 28 concealer. I have the color BU. And this one is starting to get a little empty. Like I think I'm actually starting to use this one up a bit. I really enjoy this one, and this is the main concealer that I use sort of as a foundation as well. I'm not sure how much longer this one will last me, but I probably will repurchase it once I'm done with it. Next, I have this NARS matte concealer in the color Chantilly. And this one I just purchased recently, and I purchased it specifically for this wedding because I just wanted something that was higher coverage than the Tower 28. The Tower 28 is definitely more of a medium coverage concealer, and it works really well for all over. But I just wanted something that was a little higher coverage that I could use as a pinpoint concealer for some dark spots and acne that I have. And this one has been working out really well. I've been using it with this new brush that I bought, and this has been the perfect combination. It does a really good job at covering all my dark spots and making my skin look really natural. And so far, this is the only makeup that I've purchased this year. And this was a very intentional purchase of something that I was planning on buying and that really fit a need in my collection. So I've been really happy with these two purchases. Next, I have my blush, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush Wand. And this is the only blush that I brought on this trip because it's just a really good neutral blush that goes with everything. And my dress for this wedding was kind of a mocha mousse color. So this color kind of has a little bit of brown in it while still being very rosy. And it just really worked well with the mocha mousse makeup look that I was doing for this wedding. Next, I have my bronzer. So this is actually a blush from Skin to Spirit, which I think is called Fifth and Skin now. But I've had this for probably 10 years, and I only recently started using it as a bronzer, and it works really well as a bronzer for me. Bronzers tend to look really orange on me, and this just gives a nice rosy, natural look to my skin. I also did a self-tan before this wedding since I live in the Pacific Northwest, so I look very pale right now coming out of winter. winter. And my bridesmaid dress was sort of a light brown color, so I needed a little bit of a tan to make it look more natural on me, and this bronzer kind of helped bridge the gap between my body tan and my face. So I'm glad that I packed this product, and I've been finding it really useful to use as a bronzer. Next I have my powder. So I just brought this mini version of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And this has just been really good to travel with because it doesn't get everywhere and it looks really natural on my skin and helps cut down on some of the shine without disturbing my makeup underneath. And it's really comfortable to use and doesn't feel cakey on my skin. And this little travel size that I got free, I think, for a birthday gift from Sephora has been lasting me forever. I just don't think I'll ever need a full-size powder, and if I ever want to repurchase this one in the future, then I'm definitely going to be looking at getting this travel size again. So this one was a great one to bring for this trip. Next I have my highlighter, and I use this Merit highlighter stick in Kava. This is the only highlighter I own, and I really like it. It gives a really natural dewy finish without looking sparkly or too shimmery. It just looks really natural and is really easy to layer with the rest of my makeup. And now moving on to my eyes, the only eyeshadow that I brought was this Lisa Eldridge liquid eyeshadow in the color Angelica. And this one is part of my Project Pan because it is very expired, but it is the perfect mocha mousse color and worked really well with my bridesmaid dress. It's really the perfect one and done sort of eyeshadow, and it blends out really easily and gives a really pretty sparkle to my eyes. We'll see whether I can use it up by the end of the year before it actually goes bad, but I really enjoyed using it for this wedding, and hopefully I'll find other ways to use it for the rest of the year. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I also brought this Ilia eyeshadow primer. I don't think that this even exists anymore as a product. I've had this for a few years and it is also definitely expired. So I'm just trying to use it up. I'm getting close to the bottom here, it looks like. But it did a decent job at helping my eyeshadow stay on my eyes and not crease. The Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow already does a pretty good job at not creasing, but I wanted to make sure that it stayed all throughout the wedding, and this combination made it so that my eyeshadow did not crease for the entire wedding. And then as for eyeliner, I only brought this Merit Solo Shadow in the color Nelson, and this is just a really nice charcoal color. And you can use it as an eyeshadow as well, but I like to use it as an eyeliner. I used it with this little Merit brush, and this is the only thing that I use for eyeliner nowadays, and it works really well for me, and I've been really enjoying it. And then I brought this little mini Merit mascara, and this is the only mascara I have. I got it with their holiday set a couple years ago. So again, it's probably expired, but I don't notice any difference in the formula and the smell. So I'm going to keep using it until it actually goes bad. I don't use mascara all too often, so I don't have too much to compare this one to, but it's been working really well for me. It gives a really natural, fluffy eyelash look, and I can also build it up for something a little bit more dramatic. It also doesn't smudge at all, so it's perfect for weddings, and it's easy to take off at the end of the day. And then for eyebrows, I brought this Kosas Brow Pop eyebrow pencil. This one is in the color Taupe. And again, I don't use this very often except for special occasions, such as with this wedding. Just when I want to fill in my brows a little bit and make sure there's no holes in my brows. It looks natural and it's easy to use, so this definitely served its purpose. And then I brought two different brow gels. So I have the Merit brow pomade in the color Clear. And this one, again, I got with that same holiday set that I got the mascara a couple years ago. And I think since I got that set, they have reformulated this a little bit. I'm not sure how it's changed, but I also know they don't typically sell the clear version of this brow pomade. And I really do prefer a clear one that's untinted. So I won't be repurchasing this in the future just because it doesn't really exist. And it is almost gone. I was saving it for this wedding because it is my favorite brow product to use. And I think there's barely anything left in here. So I think I'm going to try to finish it up, maybe in the next couple weeks. But I really like this one because it gives a really natural, fluffy look to my eyebrows while holding them in place and not making them look stiff. And then I brought the Kulfi Brow Gel just in case I ran out of the Merit one during this trip. This is just a clear brow gel. This one I've talked about before. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It just gives more of a laminated look to my eyebrows, which isn't typically the style of eyebrow that I like to go for. But it does do a good job of keeping my eyebrows in place. I just have to be careful not to apply too much of this. This is a part of my project pan this year because I just want to move on to a product that I enjoy more. And I'm trying to use this one up before I buy anything else. And I think that this one is almost done. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of product left in there. So I'm definitely going to be focusing on trying to use this one up soon. And then to finish my makeup, I brought this little setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury. This one I have the larger size of, and I've just been refilling this little travel size. I've honestly never used any other setting spray in my entire life. So again, I have nothing to compare this to, but this is everything that I could want in a setting spray, and I've been really happy with it. Okay, now I have a few lip products left. So I brought the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment, and this is in the Cocoa Cream color. And I've talked about this product a few times. I really like it. The smell of the Cocoa Cream one isn't necessarily my favorite, but I do really like the color, and it just makes my lips feel really good. And then for the rehearsal dinner, I brought a couple lip products. So my plan was to use this Kulfi lip stain in the color Rose before using the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the color Pillow Talk. My plan was to stain my lips with this before using the lipstick so that as the lipstick wore off throughout the night, my lips wouldn't look bare. But I was running late to the rehearsal dinner, so I ran out of time and I ended up not using the lip stain at all, and I just threw the lipstick on really quickly. But I do really enjoy this lip stain. It's really pretty and it feels really good on the lips. I didn't end up using this one, but that's fine. It all worked out because this lipstick seemed to wear really nicely throughout the night, just on its own. It's really comfortable to use just on my bare lips, and it looks really natural but gave my lips some nice color. And then my final lip product is this Rare Beauty gloss in the color Nearly Neutral. And this I wore for the wedding because it's a really nice cool tone brown, and it really went with the whole mocha mousse color that I was going for. I also really like this one because it's long lasting and it's really easy to reapply throughout the night without a mirror. So it was perfect to just throw into my purse for the rest of the night, and I didn't have to worry about the color of my lips wearing off in a weird way for pictures. I love seeing all the colors all together of the makeup that I packed for this wedding. It's all really satisfying and they all go together really well. And I feel like that's the goal with a capsule makeup collection. And since this is some of my favorite stuff, this is kind of how I hope my future makeup collection to be once I pare it down to the basics. Everything just goes together really well and complements each other. And all of these products give me a lot of joy. I feel like I have a lot of different textures going on here, and all of the colors just work really well for me. And then one last final thing that I have in here is this little mini perfume that I use for traveling. This is Myth by Ellis Brooklyn, and this is almost gone. There's barely any left. I do have the larger size of this, so I'm wondering whether I'll be able to refill it somehow. I've never done that. So if you know if these are refillable, let me know how to do it because I really would like to do that so I can continue traveling with this. I don't typically wear perfume unless it's a special occasion, and this is a really nice sort of unisex, kind of musky, but not too strong, and I feel like the scent gets better as it warms up on my skin. But yeah, I wish I could refill this because I do really like traveling with it. Okay, so that's everything that I packed for this trip. So now let's put it away really quick. All right, that's it. Thanks for helping me unpack my makeup. Hopefully this was fun to watch and helpful for maybe little mini reviews of some of my favorite products. Let me know what your go-to makeup is that you pack for trips and whether you have any strategies for packing lighter, because I feel like I'm constantly trying to pack less. Thank you for watching, and if you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!